Now, we still have the dealings with DCAM, and Rich, you've taken a leadership position there. Where are we at, what's next, and where are we going with DCAM?
Well, at the last meeting, and I don't know if we have minutes for that yet, I kind of shared the conversation I had with counsel for DCAM, Peter Wilson. And, you know, I think that we need to play nice. We need to do what they're asking of us to do. And a lot of that is some documentation primarily about any funds that we have channeled back into the properties, meaning for safety, rehabilitation, and or what do you call that? When you take out the dirties?
Remediation.
Remediation, thank you. Another R word. And it was clear to me that what we had sent to them originally was not to their liking, didn't meet their needs. And I got a very clear understanding of what they were looking for. And we talked about it at the last meeting, and we decided to put together kind of a synopsis of what we have done to secure, provide public safety, and develop that site, because we have created some infrastructure there as well. Also along with that, we had to kind of put together not only the monies and the uses, but you know, I thought the minutes would be a good idea. We commissioned our bookkeeping firm to undertake that task, knowing that the board could not get to it in any reasonable time frame. So there have been some emails, which some of you have been party to, going back and forth about some of the efforts to accomplish that. I had intended to provide Peter Wilson with not only a summary of all that we have done, but also a copy of the audit response, which Jonathan is going to be getting to me very soon. So that, because that's one thing they were looking for.
Excuse me? The annual audit, the copy of
what was provided to the select.
Right, once we sit down with the board of selectmen.
They suggested that we send to them what we had in writing to the selectmen. They thought that would be a very good first step in having them understand that we truly have been working towards the recommendations that were in there. And if it changes a little, that's fine, but right now they don't have much to go on. And there was some, I think, a little pressure from above to, after the audit came out, and it was not, you know, in any way complimentary of our previous efforts. I think DCAM was under a bit of stress to justify their permission to convey other parcels and things like that. And now this came out, and they ended up with a leg on their faces, and they're looking to us to provide them with some documentation, some substantive documentation, showing that the original plan, which was we bought the property for basically nothing, and the clean properties would be sold, and those monies channeled back into remediating and developing the main site, the main campus, that work towards that had gone on, because they didn't have a lot to show for that. Now I know we sent them annual reports, we sent them stuff all along, but they're looking for some.
And they approved every deal, and a lot of the deals were reciprocity, namely.
Yeah, they understand.
They understand that, but they need to have it regurgitated.
Yes, they do, and I think we have to provide that, regardless of what we think of that process. It's a necessary process. And, you know, at some point, somebody's going to check with them, should we ever shake any of that $10 million loose? And I think it's very important for them to be able, in good conscience, say, absolutely, these guys got their act together. They're, you know, they are well organized, and they need this to go forward, and this is a good use of the funds. I don't think they would be prepared to say that right now. So I think it's important in the conversation we had 2 weeks ago, was that, okay, what can we do to get back in the good graces of DCAM and others who may have taken that audit report at what it said as opposed to
Face value.
reality. So, in a nutshell, I guess, well, actually, in more of a nutshell, I guess it's more of a cask. That's kind of what we discussed last week, and I had hoped to get that out much quicker, because I thought that might shake loose DCAM's approval of the conveyance of Foley Field. We did have some interference run for us, very graciously, through Ed Sokolowski and Mr. Petrolati. And I think it would have gone through anyway. The words that I got from Peter was, you know, we're not going to hold this thing up, but you guys got to get, you know, your act together.
Well, I'm sure Tommy was there the day the land was transferred. He's been with us pre and post. He's always showed up exactly when he can do something for us. So Mr. Petrolati has been a champion. Would you agree, Kurt?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Which doesn't mean that we can rest on those laurels forever. I think
Well, I think we've got to move forward. We got to cut to the chase. What are we getting to DCAM? Because obviously we haven't done a deal in such a long while. I'm going to tell you that there's 3 members on this board that just saw the first deal go down, and it was a giveaway of acreage to the town. Don't credit that as a deal. You're getting no taxes, you're getting no real estate investment, whatever. We got to get back to doing deals. And the only way we're going to do deals is to deal with DCAM. So, the first thing is we should vote to apparently send down the report immediately to DCAM that we sent to the Board of Selectmen.
Which I believe we may have done last meeting.
Okay.
Along with commissioning the research by SDM Services, our bookkeeper.
Have we forwarded the research? Which I have.
Right.
You
I have been waiting for the final audit response, which I don't have the final copy of. So,
The what? The final audit response? I PDF'd it to every board member the other day.
The other day?
Yes. Yesterday?
Yesterday or the day before.
Day before, one or the other.
I may be a couple days out of my emails. My apologies.
Oh, let me give you a...
I don't want a hard copy, please.
Okay.
If it's in my inbox, that's all I need. And so I will, before the end of this week, provide Peter with kind of a synopsis of our efforts. I will provide him with a 2-year kind of summary of our security efforts and some of the monies. I will explain that, hey, kind of along with what we intended our first letter to do was, hey, this is kind of where we're going. I know there's a lot of other stuff that we've done prior to 2007 that we need to get to you, including infrastructure improvements like building linear feet of road and utilities and that kind of thing. But, you know, here's what we have right now, and I will continue to feed
It's
stuff.
interesting, it's on the report that goes to the Department of Housing, which you just have a copy of in terms of the linear feet of roads and so I would give you an extra copy.
Keep the one I have?
Yes, you can, I don't want you to burn any more trees than you have to, but it's right on there.
Forward.
Yeah, I'll summarize it. I think I'm going to deal with him
There's a
electronically.
second page that talks about the roads, Rich, in each package. You got, there's 3 pieces of paper there.
Excellent, thank you.